All right, boys and girls, it's Miss Slarks. We're going to go over some of the basic foundational components of equations. So as you're doing any type of equation, these are always the things that you need to go back to. First, I want to start with talking about inverse operations. What are the inverse operations? Well, we know inverse basically means the opposite. So what are opposite of each other? So the opposite of addition is going to be subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is going to be division. All of you know that, whether or not you believe it, you totally do, and we just need to now apply it when we're doing equations. So in this first example, I'll give you guys a second. Go ahead and pause this video and write down both of these two examples in your notes that I know you all are diligently taking. Okay, now you should have it written down. The whole point of equations is to get the variable by itself. So we're trying to get x in this equation by itself. So we have 4 plus x equals 23. So in order to get x by itself, we have to get rid of the 4. And because it's a positive 4, it's adding, so the opposite would be a negative. So we're going to take away 4, and remember, when we do to one side, we have to do to the other. 4 minus 4 is going to cancel out to give me 0, so I'm going to just slash it away. And then what I have left on this side is x. And on my other side of the equation, 23 minus 4 gives me 19. And that's it. That's your answer. So x equals 19 is my final answer. I don't have to do anything else with it. All right, next problem. X divided by 5 equals 4. Again, the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So in order to get x by itself, I'm going to have to multiply 5. Because right now, the 5 is dividing by the x. So I'm doing the opposite. So it's dividing by 5, so now I'm going to multiply by 5 on both sides again. Because you have to balance your equation. 5 times 5, or 5 times 1 over 5 is 0, or 1, so that cancels out. So now I have 1x left over here. And I have 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. And again, that's my final answer. Don't have to do anything else. Alright, that's enough with one-step equations. Please make sure you remember the inverse operations. Now we're going to go on to two-step equations. Again, go ahead and pause this video and write down both examples. Okay, so with two-step equations, you literally just have to do 2 different steps in order to solve for x. So to solve for x on this one, we need to get rid of the 2 and we need to get rid of the plus 3. I'm going to start by getting rid of the plus 3. And again, the opposite or the inverse of plus would be minus. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 3 minus 3 is 0. So now I have 2x left over here. And 15 minus 3 gives me 12. Now I have 2x, or 2 times x, equals 12. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide the 2 on both sides. Because again, I'm just trying to get x by itself, so I have to get rid of that 2. 2 over 2 is equal to 1, so I have 1x left. And 12 divided by 2 is equal to 6. So I have x is equal to 6, and because x is by itself, I'm done. Alright, next problem. I'm going to try and go a little bit faster this one, so make sure you're pausing the video if you need to catch up. Okay, on this one, I have the dividing by 3, and I have a negative 5 that I have to get rid of in order to get x by itself. I'm going to start with this negative 5, because I'm going to work what's furthest away from my variable. The opposite of a negative 5 is a positive 5, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so I have x over 3 equals 10 plus 5, which is 15. And then the opposite of dividing by 5 is multiplying, dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. That's going to cancel out, and I have x equals 15 times 3, which is 45. And now x is by itself. Alright, I would like you guys to go ahead and try these two problems. So pause the video and write down the problems and try to solve them. And then in about 5 seconds, I'm going to move on. So make sure you pause. And you're attempting these two problems right now. Okay, so you should have attempted both problems by now. Here you can check your work. So, to start with, you should have gotten rid of the 10 by subtracting the 10 right here. And then you got rid of that 10, so you had x over 2, so you should have multiplied both sides by 2. And then you got your final answer, which is x equals 60. And very similar over here, except you had a positive, so you subtracted the 5 out on both sides. And then again, very similar, except it was already multiplying, so we divided by -2 on both sides. And you should have got x is equal to -10, because as a reminder, a positive divided by or multiplied by a negative gives you a negative, because they are different signs. This was a quick refresher. If you're still not understanding, this is a really easy thing to just do a quick Google search on. It's called one-step or two-step equations, and you could find a lot of different videos on it or different example problems.